Hey guys, it's Warren again. Today we're going to be going over the hip complex. We've gone over the ankles and knee regions. Um, Now, just remember, take in mind, a lot of those ankle dysfunctions do lead up to the hips here. Um, some major muscle groups we're going to be going over are the serratus, TFL, rectus femoris, those are hip flexors. Um, you have the psoas, you won't be able to see it on here, so I'm not really going to cover it much. Um, the IT band and the abductor complex, your glute maximus and medius, and your lower back muscle, the rectus spinae. Your hamstrings we already kind of went over around the knee. That does affect your pelvis also. We're going to go over those. The issues that we have, there are many, but I'm just going to go over the ones I see most of. Um, Piriformis syndrome or sciatic nerve pain. That's going to be on the left hand side is the posterior side. The picture you see on the right hand side is the anterior front side. But piriformis syndrome, you'll feel it a lot more in the middle of the butt, and it might be a pain shooting down your leg. Um, your Another issue we do get is SI joint pain. It's going to be up here in the upper part. Um, and Another issue will be groin strains are typical, and even hamstring and lower back, of course. Um, Now let's start with the SI joint pain. Um, the muscles going to be involved with that issue is going to be the serratus here, these long muscles. It runs, let's go back the other way, down, you see down and across to the inside of the leg. Okay, so muscle's kind of crazy, isn't it? It wraps all the way around. And then you have your rectus femoris, which is right there in the top front of the leg. And it runs up. You can see it kind of cut there, right there. And then we have the TFL. You can't really see it on this diagram I have here, but it runs up in there. All three of these muscles attach um, to the general same area on the pelvis. Okay, they are a hip flexor. They help rotate your pelvis forward. As far as the action on the leg is going to be bringing the knee up and rotating it inward. Is going to be the major function there of the TFL. Um, Now, those cause that issue in the back. Again, the obvious thing is to stretch and roll these muscles, and then we want to strengthen the glute maximus and the medius, which is located on the side. Okay. Um, and then from there, the strengthening, we want to integrate them all together into a full movement of where you don't have as much anterior tilt, pelvic tilt. But remember, if you have tight ankle joints, it's going to force your hips to fall forward too much. So you can't really correct the hip joint if you're not at the same time correcting any ankle dysfunctions that you have. Okay. Again, I see too many trainers or people on those foam rollers just rolling around, stretching, just muscles, whatever ones they know. It does take a systematic program to truly fix these issues. And if you have an anterior tilt, your glute muscles do deactivate and they do not develop properly. Okay. So if you want those glutes developed properly for body transformation, but also for athletic performance, because your glute muscles are your where the horsepower comes in sprinting, then you gotta get these corrected. Okay. Now we'll move on up to the issue of the anterior pelvic tilt. It causes your core to deactivate as well. For your front of your hips to fall forward, your core, your abs have to lengthen. Okay, so if you can see, it's called cross syndrome. Is if you have a pelvic tilt forward, your abs deactivate and your glutes deactivate. What tightens is your hip flexors here below your pelvis and your lower back above your pelvis. Those tighten and overactivate, thus causing back issues. So, doing hyperextensions are horrible if done wrong. You're encouraging the hyperextension of the lower back, anterior tilt of the pelvis, the activation of the glutes, so forth. It's like a snowball effect. Okay. Now, as you can see, the muscle fibers of your glutes, sorry about that, run diagonal. They do not run straight up and down. So that's going to connects to the femur on the outside edge, which is going to make not just pulling your leg back, but it also helps rotate it outward. Okay? Your glute medius pulls your leg straight out to the side without external rotation, or minimal. I'm sorry, I take that back. Working on the function of the glutes is very important in the right angles, in all the angles, lateral, front to back, and rotational. Okay? If you want, again, the full potential development of these areas, both performance and development wise. So that's the secret, okay, is doing the whole system correctly to allow you to hit your true 100% and not just maximizing your 50% potential that you have. Okay, why not raise your potential to 100% and then maximize that? I say again, too many programs, clinics, just trying to maximize, especially the youth, their full potential on what dysfunctions they already have, instead of trying to up their level of potential and then maximizing that. Again, common sense, and the non-common sense thing is to allow the dysfunctions to be there, because guess what? It causes injury. Okay, so that also, if you're doing a body transformation, if you bring your fitness to a certain level and you start having pains, it slows down your progress. Common sense. If you get hurt, then it stops it. Again, common sense stuff. Now, as far as the piriformis, your sciatic nerve pain, it all is interrelated to what I just went over. Your hip flexor complex is tight. Your glutes are deactivated, so your piriformis tries to take over. Piriformis is deep underneath the glutes. It's actually a stabilizer of the hip, and it helps with the external and internal rotation of the femur, the upper leg. So when that takes over, that sciatic nerve runs right by that piriformis and causes it to pinch down on that nerve, whether that piriformis grows and pushes down or it spasms. And it's just trying to take over the what your glutes aren't doing. Okay. Now, we'll move it on up. Is your lat muscles. They come down and they attach to the back of your pelvis. This will have to do with SI joint pain as well, and your piriformis and all these things, because when your lats are tight, as well as your spina erecti, the lower back muscles that go all the way up mid of your back, will cause the tightness in that, and your hip flexors will cause your glutes to deactivate, your core to deactivate, thus causing the anterior pelvic tilt. And you see where I'm going with this. They're all related. These dysfunctions cause another effect, so we have to reverse those with proper foam rolling and proper stretching, proper activation techniques, and then exercise. And I promise you, by doing this, causes a very high level of performance, a very high level of body transformation with actually less effort. Sounds great, doesn't it? And then if you bring up your effort to very high levels, you even get more out of it. So that's where you get to these levels of fitness and conditioning that you never thought you could get to. Um, and if you have any questions, please check out my website again at www.wm-fitness.com. Make sure to tell everyone about my Facebook page here. Like it, become a fan of it so you can get all the updates of the new videos. I will be in the process of making more professional grade videos, products for everyone. And wait for my shoulder complex and upper back video coming out soon. And you'll have a great day.